Hi guys, Milne here, welcome back to the channel. Just like to start off by saying thank you to all my subscribers that are currently with the channel so far, and a massive thank you to all of my channel members. You guys are absolutely awesome and you're going that extra mile. Today we're going to be doing a tutorial on a sort of service station with the old petrol station on the side and a repair shop. And as always, if you're new here, you like what you see, maybe you learned something, then I'd really appreciate it if you could join in with everyone else and subscribe to the channel and maybe hit the like button, because it really helps the channel grow further and further, and I appreciate it ever so much. Now with all that said and out of the way, let's get into this tutorial. Right, with the location with this build, I've chose to build just outside of Watoga, and I'm here by Thunder Mountain and the Watoga shopping plaza. Right, so starting off with the service station itself, I've just mapped out a few foundations along, and we're going to end up with a 2x3 foundation. Don't worry about putting that one down because it's not needed at the minute. So we're going to start off and we're going to place a quarter catwalk, because we're going to be working on the roofs first. So I'm going to be messing about with all the foundations, but we've got a marker foundation over there by my vending machine just to help out so we can get back to our original position. Now I've moved these back ones out by quarter, as you can see, and then we're going to start on the first part of the roof. Now this roof's going to be a bit of a pain in the arse because we're going to be blending it all in, and we want to try and keep it all one level so there's no steps in it. And yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time, but we want to overhang the building altogether. As you can see, I've placed down some walls, placed some roofs on it, then I've broken the tie. Now with these ones, we need to blend in these two middle roofs, so you're going to need to flatten them, burn them all down. So we've got 4 roofs in now, and that's that section done. We're going to move on to the next section. So we're going to move a few of these foundations back. So this bit can be a little bit confusing, so you might have to keep replaying this part of the video just to get it all right. But basically we want to step this next foundation back by quarter catwalk, so when I place my next roofs in, they're blended into the roofs that are already burnt. So as you can see, I'm moving a load of foundations around, and now we need to raise this one up because the next roof we want it to sit, so when it comes down in the slope there's no real joins to it. It's going to take a little bit of time getting the right height, but just keep placing some walls down and then the old triangle on top, so then you can place your roof in, and you want it to look kind of seamlessly, if you know what I mean, like you'll see in a minute anyway. So now that you've got the height that you like, when you place on the roof, you'll see what I mean. It sort of, this whole slope runs down all in one. Now I've kept this up ever so slightly, so you don't notice it at the end, but it's just easier for me to see what's going on. And like the first part, we're going to be placing 2 roofs on this part, and then we're going to need to break the tie so we can get rid of those walls. And then once you've done all that, we need to do the other side. So we're going to place on some foundations. So I place that one in there. Then we want to move this one over by half. Then when we place on our last foundation, we can see we're in level with the end of the other roofs. So we're going to place on our walls, place on the slopey boy, and then stick on a roof there. So then we need to break the tie on that roof as well, so we can get rid of all of our walls. And then we need to burn that middle one so we can place in that last one. And then you're going to want to go ahead and burn all of those roofs like we did the front ones. So as you can see, they're all burnt and they're sort of stuck into each other by quarter. Now we need to do the final part of the roof. So we're going to be placing our foundations back to where the outside of the walls are, or the outside of the roof, sorry. And then we're going to move this one over by half, because I want the front of the roof to overhang the building by half this time, where the back only overhung by a quarter. So like we've done in the last step, we're going to be moving foundations up and down until we can get our last roof on and it's all in level with the rest of the roofs. Because of this part of the roof's going to be quite a little bit higher, I've had to use a half wall and then put a full wall in, just so we can get the right height. Like I said, moving all these floors around and everything is a little bit confusing. I mean, I know what I'm talking about, so I can just waffle on. You probably don't know what I'm talking about, so just you might need to watch that part of the video a few times, because I probably haven't really explained it very well, but yeah, I'm sorry. So hopefully you've understood everything that I've been saying so far, and like I've done on the middle part of the roof, I'm leaving this one up ever so slightly, and like we've done the last two times, we're going to be placing that down, breaking the tie, putting in some middle ones, burning it all, and that's the awkward part of the roof's all done, so you'll be thankful for that. Once again, to do the other side, just need to place in a foundation, place in half, place in your last foundation. That'll bring you to the end of the original, existing roofs that are already up, and then you can carry on and do all that. Right, so hopefully you've made sense of everything that I've been saying, and your roofs should look similar to that, all burnt, and trust me, that's the awkward part finished. Now, using our marker foundations, we can bring all of our foundations back to where they're meant to be, and then we're going to remove this one because we're going to work on the service station sign. Ignore those walls at the back because they're irrelevant at the moment. So we're going to step this centre over by half, like I've done here, and then get rid of all the rest of the foundations, and then we want to raise this one up. This can be as high as you want really, and then we're going to place in 2 temporary walls. Then I'm going to go ahead and double these walls up as well, because for my sign I want to have it 2 walls thick. So double those up, and then we're going to place on some half walls. Now, in order to place on the back part of the half walls, we're going to need to break these ones first. So go ahead and get your burner and you can go and break those. Once they're broken, you can place the half walls on the back as well. You're going to need to break those as well before you can remove any of those temporary walls underneath. Right, now using our marker foundation at the front, we're going to step this one out by half a catwalk plus a quarter catwalk, and then we're going to bring back all of our foundations for the walls in the shop. I've done this because I wanted to make sure that the sign wasn't right at the front of the building, it was just set back by a quarter. Then I've gone round and placed on all of my walls. Now I'm only going single skin on these. Then you can go ahead, and I'm using this army base roof for a change, because I tend to use the responders roofs for everything else, so just to mix it up a little bit. Right, now that we've got all our roofs on, we need to put some posts down for our service station sign. I'm going to be using my 3-place post blueprint that I've shown in previous videos, and even though it's red, you can still place these through things because they're great. And you can literally just go ahead and place 2 of those. Then you can go and remove the top ones because we only want to see the bottoms of these posts, and then we can just remove those as well because they're not needed. Right, lastly, with this part, still using our blueprint, we're going to place in some posts just to support that roof above, because, you know, we don't want to leave things floating there. So all I've done is I've pushed it as tight into the roof as possible. Do the same on the other side. Then once you've got those in, I'm going to then snap a stair post up on top so that I've got a marker for it. You can remove all of the bottoms and then place in, I'm using these enclave ones, in which you're going to have to flatten these roofs because the overhang on the roof gets in the way a little bit, and we can just snap those in. And then once you've done that, you can change your roof back and then remove your marker stair post up the top there. Now I've chose to use this fire hazard pack, but with the windows I wanted to glaze them, so I'm going to show you a little trick on how to do that quickly. And if you're lucky enough to get this destroyed pack, whatever it is, you can go ahead and burn that, and with that burn you can then place walls on exactly the same place that that wall is, if you know what I mean. So we're going to take some glass ones, place in 2 half glass walls there, and then when you repair it, the window will be glazed. So now you've got something looking like this. We're going to place a door in, then that's the shop part finished for now, other than decorating, and we're going to start working on the repair shop part of things. Right, now I'm going to build us some foundations off the side of the services, and then we're going to place down this barn prefab. Now this is going to sit higher than our foundations, but that's alright because we're putting a little ramp in a minute. All we need from this is the doors, which I have shown on a different tutorial. I originally learnt this from Mr. Church, but I'm going to quickly run over this again. These will clip into the front of the foundations nicely, so what you want to do is you want to try and line up those doors so that they sit just in front of those foundations. Then you can go ahead and burn the doors and totally remove the barn. Now that that's all out of the way, we can bring our foundations over, making sure that our doors are slightly overhanging those back foundations. Then we can remove those, get rid of that one, and then we're going to want to raise this up to the bottom of the door. Now this is going to take a little bit of lining up because you want it to sit nice and straight, obviously, for the doors. Right, then when you're nice and happy with those, you can just place in some foundations all around just to make sure that everything is nice and square and doesn't clip into anything. And then for the repair barn shop, whatever it is, we're going to be placing exactly the same as the services. We're going to be doing a 2x3 foundation. Right, now I'm going to place on some walls either side, because we need to fill in those gaps, and Mr. Church come up with a great way of filling up them gaps is with some bookcases. But before we do that, we need to just place in some walls so that we can get a roof above it. Now once again, this is all going to be single skin. You're going to need to change the upper triangles to brick so that when we burn them they disconnect all the ties from the bottom of the walls, because we don't want those walls there. You can go ahead and simply delete those walls. Now we can stack 4 bookcases on top of each other. So without moving, just literally place down 4, and you're going to want to do that 4 times because we're going to want 2 for either side. Next, I've removed the foundations from under the doors, and I've placed in some stairs because we're going to want to make the ramp going up. So with a temporary set of floors, we're just going to place some more underground, and then we're going to build up our walls so that we can attach a roof to it to make the ramp going up into the repair shop. So I've placed in a full wall, and then we're going to snap on some roofs, push some back into there, then we can break that tie and remove our wall completely, and then off that flat roof we're going to place on a slopey roof. Right, you're going to need to head back underground because you won't be able to place these from above ground because the floor will just get in the way and blah blah blah. So once you've done that, you can break that tie, get rid of that completely, and then you can go ahead and burn those slopey roofs. So as you can see, we had to burn those roofs in order to place our foundations back because they're going to be sitting half into them. Then I'm going to change those over to the responders kit because we had to use it somewhere, and also that's the best looking sort of concrete ramp we can find. Now that all that's done, we can push these bookcases as tight into these walls as possible. Now they will go green eventually, you just got to wriggle them around a bit. Then you can spend forever trying to line it all up. What you don't want is the bookcases to poke through on the doors when they're fixed, so you can repair them, just check, make sure everything's all right, and then you can go ahead and burn those bookcases so we can place them in the back. But before we do that, the broken doors are in the way, so you're going to have to repair those again. Then you can go ahead and push these in as tight as you can. Right, now that I've wriggled those all around for the last 10 minutes and got them somewhere where I'm happy with them, you can see that I've placed in the rest of the walls and the triangles at the back, and then we can go ahead and place on some roofs. Right, next we're going to work on the sign for the repair shop. Now originally I just placed chalkboard on the front here, but when I changed it over to the Fortress pack, which I ended up using, I found that the triangle, the texture of the pack stuck through the chalkboard, so I had to come up with a little way to bring that forward. So I've just placed in some of these wavy Willard letter signs, and then I've put my chalkboard on top of that, which brought it away enough so when I change over the triangles from barn to the Fortress, nothing sticks through and it all looks good. Now originally I wanted to use that car in the middle, but I found that it just took up too much room, so I wanted to use the actual workbench computer side of things. So in the end I've removed those back walls out, placed in the door so that the car's out the back and the computer's inside the build. You can then break that and place your walls back in. Alright, that's the repair shop done, other than a bit of decoration which I'll do later on. Right, next I had to use this truck somewhere, so all I've done is I've stuck it on the road and then pushed it as far out of the circle as possible, just to allow myself as much room on the road. Now we're going to go ahead and start building our petrol station. So as you can see, I've just come 3 foundations off our shop to the other side. Now we're going to work on, basically all this is just floating roofs, and once again I had to use a responders pack somewhere, so I've placed in a temporary wall and then half a wall on top, and then I'm just going to go around and place in these roofs. Now because they won't just snap where you want them to, we're going to need to place in some more temporary walls just to change the direction of those roofs. So with that I'm going to break that tie to get rid of that wall, and then we can place this wall in a different direction with the half wall on top, so then we can snap in our roof in the direction that we want it to go in. Right, and with that, that's the last part of the roof placed in. We can break the tie and remove the wall. Next, I've free placed in some posts to support that roof. I'm going to take off all these top ones, so I've only got half a stair post on the bottom. Then I'm going to place in my enclave posts again on top of those. Then once you've done all of that, you can remove all the posts underneath. And with these end ones, which wasn't a problem, we can just snap a enclave post straight into the foundation, nice and easy. But with those middle ones, because of it sits in between 2 foundations, we're going to need to remove those foundations out the way, place in the post, then burn the post in order to get the foundations back again. Right, now all that's out of the way, the closest thing I could find to a petrol pump was these Red Rocket vending machines. So we're going to use a couple of those, and then we're going to place in a car. Now I got those vending machines off a very early scoreboard, in which I'm probably sure a lot of you might not have those. So what you're going to use as an alternative is, I don't really know, to be honest. I'm sure you can come up with something creative. Next, I'm going to be using this car, but I don't like the fact that it's sitting on those cinder blocks, so we're just going to foundation merge that down a bit. Right, so as you'll see in a minute, the car is overhanging this foundation quite a lot, so we need to make sure we place in that foundation first. So I've removed all the foundations behind it. You're going to need to burn all of the bottom posts, just so you can then clip your foundations back in without a problem. Also, as you can see, I've had to burn the car in order to place the foundations back as well. So there we go. We've got our petrol station, our service station, and our repair shop. Next, I'm going to make a little pickup truck. Now, this trailer just won't fit on the back of that car, so we need to go ahead and take a small mat, place the front of the trailer, or the tow bar of the trailer, on top of the mat so that it takes support, and then we can go ahead and pick that mat up and place it on the roof of the car and merge it all. So right, coming over to the buddy system, we're going to merge this down. So say for instance you're not happy with how straight it is, you're going to need to go into free cam, so you can go back into the car to pick up the mat, and then you can just place it on the roof and try again. Now that I'm happy with that, I'm just going to chuck that out on the road somewhere, and then I'm going to disappear and do some decorating. Right, and just like that, I've been and decorated. So this is how I've sort of come up with things. It's a typically British sort of look to everything, and I've gone for max budget, near enough. I wish I had more budget, but as usual, I always run out of budget before I can do, well, the full potential of what I want to do. So I've placed one of these little flea car stash box Ujima flips on one of these trailers, because obviously, you know, it's a repair station. We've got our pickup truck out there with our standard car over there. Petrol station's pretty simple really, haven't really done much here other than place a couple of jerry cans in front of that petrol pump there, and I used the old baseball method on the chessboard which I showed in my last tutorial. There's our merged down car that I showed earlier. We've got this cool little stash box, which could obviously be somewhere where they keep like the lockable stuff like the gas tanks and things like that. Being a service station, they've always got flowers and stuff outside for people that miss Valentine's Day or anniversaries. They have to quickly run out and get some petrol station flowers. So threw a load of them stuff out. That vending machine had just come out at the time, so had to chuck that down too. Round the back of the repair shop, we've just got some scrappy old cars, things that couldn't be fixed, and I've just gone for throwing a load of vegetation down. Got that old smashed up barn that used to be part of the repair shop once upon a time or something like that, because you know everything in England is pretty much smashed up and old anyway. And yeah, so let's head on inside our service station and take a look in there. And our typical sort of shop really, just selling all sorts of crap. Got some more flowers in there. We've got these countertops which I haven't used before, so I thought I might as well throw those down. A few magazines for sale up the back there, and then we got a few drinks fridges, selling some Nuka-Cola because there's nothing else in Appalachia to sell. And then just, yeah, throw down a load of water stuff, some shelves full of crap as usual, and just your typical sort of things that you'd find in a sort of a service station really, I suppose. A few little milk fridges there with the display cases. Rather than putting food, I thought I'd put some clothes in here because yeah, last tutorial I used it with food, so I thought I'd use this opportunity to display some of my rare stuff. Then moving over, got a few bits of bobs, alcohol and that. Everyone sells coffins in service stations, so I thought I might as well put one of those down. And then yeah, that's pretty much it for in here. Nothing really too special because my budget wouldn't let me. And now to my favourite part of the build was this repair shop. This is the bit that I really liked doing. And as we head on inside, we've got Leo here, our handyman of the wasteland, and he's been working on fixing up these power armors for us. So we've got this rusted look which I really like. So on that one, you know, he's been painting it and doing it up for one of his customers. As you can see, the paint's on the side there. And then we've got a rusty old T51 there next to it, which yeah, he's still got work on. And I really tried to keep the theme of this area as a repair station, which I quite enjoyed building this part of it. We got some cool little stuff like this, I think it's a weapons bench maybe, that sort of fit really well. What I had to do is I had to burn that car bench, whatever it is, to then push the other one in next to it. and then I've just got some shelves here with just some random crap and an egg. And this part of it I really enjoyed doing with the power armor. I tried to like capture sort of, I wanted to just have a power armor helmet on the side, but we've got no other ways of displayed in this, so what I ended up having to do was using this power armor display station, in which I'm going to pick up right now, and I put the shelving unit on top of the power armor display, merged that down, and then I took the power armor display and foundation merged that to the bottom of the shelving unit. As you can see, it's not, I mean, I wanted to cover up more of the chassis, but that's the best I could do, so hence why I chucked a load of boxes in front of it and just tried to cover it a little bit as much as possible. With that fuel tank also, I used the ball method on top of a chessboard, which when I zoom in you'll see I covered all of that on my last tutorial. And then you've got Leo's little work area right next to it. And once again, that's pretty much all that the budget would allow me to do in here. So as always, I'd love to do more, and I really hope that they will give us some more budget at some point, but hey ho, it is what it is. And that brings us to the end of this tutorial. I really hope you've enjoyed the way I've decorated it. So if you made it this far into the tutorial, a massive congratulations for putting up with my boring voice for the last half an hour. And yeah, if you're new here, you like what you see, maybe you learned something, I'd really appreciate if you'd come join us and subscribe and like. And I would like to take this opportunity to say a massive thank you to all of my channel members. You guys are absolutely awesome. And yeah, that's about it. So until the next one, I'll catch you in the wastelands. Thanks for watching.